Chuck, K0XM. We've got a lot of calls with AnyTones and the firmware updating. And it's really a simple process. You have to tell the radio to go into firmware update mode, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. First of all, before you do that, you have to install the firmware update program, which is known as QX Pro Install. QX Pro Update, which is that program right there, and you'll see it firing up. Now all my stuff is set up to run as administrator on my Windows 10 computer. That makes life so much simpler. But what you'll do is you'll update this file right here. Now I'm going to take a brand new AnyTone out of the box. This has come from the factory with version 2.27 firmware. I'm going to take it to 0.29. I slap the battery on the back. As I power it up, you want to hold your push to talk and your orange button at the same time and power it on. When that happens, the red light flashes on and off. Nothing happens on the display. That's firmware update mode when the red light is flashing on and off. As I plug it into the radio, you'll hear the Windows acknowledgement. That tells me the window has recognized the radio. The cable itself, remember, does not have any electronics in it. All the electronics are in the radio itself. At that point, you come over here to the software, and the bottom COM port, if it's been set up properly, is always the COM port of the radio. Select that, then make sure duplex is checked. Then you want to open the update file. Now, you want to open up to the latest firmware, and 2.29 is the latest firmware that was released by AnyTone. So you want to select that SPI file and hit open. All right, let's do this. And hit open. And it'll tell you it's succeeded. At that point, then you hit the right button. It'll ask you to confirm it. And then you'll see the blue bars starting to happen, and that will update it. Now notice, nothing's going on the radio. All this is on the computer at this point. The radio is still deciding that it's getting a firmware update, but it is in update mode because the red light was flashing, and it's flashing slower now because data is coming in. We're about halfway there. And once this is done, I'll show you how to double check and make sure it took. 90%. And we are done. It should come up with the calibrate date or the reinitialize screen when it is done correctly, as you can see. So you set it for your time zone. We're about minus 500 GMT here in the Midwest. And set the year and the date. Today's 6/1. Anyway, I'll go ahead. We'll redo that, and it'll boot up. And then once it boots up, you want to go into the memory, then go to settings, hit the green button for acknowledgement all the time, then go to device info, which is the third screen in the settings screen, and then scroll down and verify that it is at version 2.29. Now this one says beta. This is a test version. I'm going to get the actual firmware and put it up on the support page. But that's how you do a firmware update on an AnyTone 868. Thanks a lot, folks. K0XM, if you guys got any questions, don't hesitate to call us. 816-532-8451.